Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on our Honda inverter EU 2200i. This is the 30 amp companion generator. Now the reason we went with the 30 amp is because we're using this for our trailer and we wanted to have that 30 amp. Now you can go ahead and put this with another 2200 and get 4400. So we've been able to run this on gasoline and run our air conditioner without any issue. We have soft starts on both of our air conditioners, so we can run either air conditioner really. But no problems running the air conditioner. The problem, small gas tank. Now we came from a Predator 3500 that had a much larger gas tank, could run all night long, not an issue. This one lasts about 3.5 hours. So what that means, you're going to get up every 3.5 hours to refill it. Not the best case scenario. So I know there's some other options. People have set up, siphons to siphon from another gas tank into this gas tank and to keep everything going. What we have decided is we're going to go with the Hutch Mountain Propane conversion. And we're going to convert this over to propane, and we can use this off a 20-gallon tank, or we can use it off our onboard 30-gallon tanks. So we're going to do the conversion right now. Here we go. Alright, first thing we got to do is we got to get in here. You can use a flathead or a Phillips on this. This is really the maintenance cover. And this is also where you would change your oil or fill your oil. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to remove this. We're going to drill a hole right up in here and run our piping. So before we get there, let's go ahead and drill the hole first so any little pieces don't fall into the air cleaner. Okay, so we're going to go 4 3/4 from this edge in. And this is to the center. Actually, let's go 4 3/4. No. Okay, so that's 4 3/4, not 4 5/8. And then we're going to go 3/4 from this edge, which is where I put the tape. So that gives us our center right there. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and drill a little pilot hole first. Now step bits do have the dimensions on them, the diameters. I'm just going to go ahead and mark the 9/16, which is what we want to have this drilled to, with a piece of tape. Okay, so I got 9/16 marked. And we're ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and check our fitting to see if it's going to fit in there. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to take this off. And we got to get it, that little nut right down there. Alright, so these are going to be 8mm. And I don't know if you can hear the breeze is picking up a little bit here. But I just looked behind me. I got some black clouds coming in, so I might get chased away off this job. We're gonna have to hope for the best here. It was nice, it was getting a little cooler. Cool little breeze. And I was looking around and the sky was still pretty blue, some puffy clouds, but not behind me. Now, this hose right here, got to pull that out of there and just pull this right off of that tube. So now this, got to do this one too, it looks like. Actually, we didn't need to do this one. This one could have stayed on there. Just this top, this breather hose is what needed to come off. Now we're going to go ahead and take this gasket off here. Now they're giving us several washers, and the way it goes is we get 2 of these on the bottom. And then it's going right up. Well, actually, I want to get this behind here. And that's going on there. And that will tighten that up in a little bit. But this is actually how the propane, you can see in there the little grooves in there. That's how the propane is going to get introduced into the engine. So we need to get this under these. Now where gaskets are going on, there's a little yellow tab here. And that's going to fit right over like that. Notice the little tab there, little yellow mark there, little yellow mark there, all the yellow marks line up. This goes back into here. Okay, now we're ready to start putting this thing back together. Okay, before we start putting this back together, we have to remove that metal stud and these 2 metal studs right here. Actually, they're just sheaves. So we're going to remove that one, remove that one. Then they gave us new ones. So this one right here, it's actually just a little bit longer because this is going to be sticking out more this way because we just added that propane adapter and the 2 gaskets rather than the 1 gasket. So now let's go ahead and we'll push all this back together. These are the new ones. These actually are little nuts. So we're going to go ahead and get this just lined up and started. Because we got to get this hose again. Okay, that's back in. Everything is good. Put this one on. That one. And this one going in here. And what they actually recommend you do is take the socket off the wrench and screw these in by hand. make them finger tight, and then we'll come back in here up. The new ones are a little bit bigger. They're the 3/8. Okay, so everything's hand tight. Now they say go 1.5 to 2 full turns. So start there. So we're going to go 1.5 to 2 full turns. Starting here, we're not going to make it 1.5. Guess my finger tight is a little stronger than the average finger tight, because I'm only going to get a half out of that. Let's see what we get out of this. We got 1.5, 1.5. That's all I'm going to push it. Next thing we're going to do is stick this little pre-filter back in here. Put our little air cleaner back on. Next thing, we got to go ahead and tighten this up, because remember, we just put this on just barely hand tight. So let's get that tightened up, and then we have a quick disconnect to attach on top of that. Okay, so we got to get 5/8 wrench onto there. And we can spin this. You need a little help. Okay, we kind of want it facing forward. And now this is going to be our quick disconnect. So the quick disconnect is going to thread right onto here. Now, of course, before we hook any of this, actually run anything, once we'll hook this up, we'll go ahead and we'll put a little soap on here, make sure we ain't got no leaks. I think I could tighten this up just a little bit more. All right, before we close this up, I just wanted to mention, they give you different fuel jets. They're located right in here. You take this hose off, pull it down, the jets are right up in here. Now, the jet that's in there now is good for as long as you're below 5,000 feet above sea level, which is where we will be most of the time. But if you do go up higher, or if you live higher, you will need to change the jet. Now, the jet that you'll need is the one that's marked with yellow inside here. Now, what I'm going to do with this, just so I don't lose it, is we have to pull this over and zip tie it to this this hose right here. So we're going to just slide this through that and attach that to it as well, I think. Ah, it is starting to rain. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Slide that in there. Now, you want to make sure, let's see if I can pull you over here. You want to make sure that this right here is behind that clamp. And now there's our jets as well. Just gotta trim that, but we're gonna get wet. So, I'll be back. Okay, we moved in out of the rain. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this sticker off here. And they recommend that you heat it up a little bit. So, we will do that. Don't want to get it too hot, we don't want to melt the plastic. They recommend using a hair dryer. So this can get a little bit higher than a hair dryer. When they give us these stickers, they're for the 2000 and the 22. So we have gasoline off, engine off, gasoline off, propane. So this is for the 2000. This is for the 2000 because the 2000 has a button up here that you would actually use to shut the generator off. This is the 22. So it's going to go right here. And what it's going to do is, all the way is engine off. When you first go, that right there is gasoline off, propane on. So that shuts the fuel supply to the carburetor off. Normally that's where you would put it if you were shutting the generator down. Go ahead and get the gas out of the carburetor. Especially if you're going to store it for any period of time. And then this is all gasoline on. So it'd be on, gas off, propane on, engine off. So that's where we're going to put it, right here. Gasoline off, propane on, gas on, whole thing off, stickers on. And the only thing I'm going to do is, let's see if we can start this up now on the propane. Now normally, you have to make sure that there is no gas. Make sure there's no gas in the carburetor. I've already done that, and actually last time we ran this, we ended up running it dry, so I know there's no gas in the carburetor. I tried to start it, it won't start. So once there's no gas in the carburetor, we can go ahead and safely try to start this up with the propane. Okay, so here's our setup. Now this is with the 20-pound tank. So you have your pressure regulator. This is what they call your demand regulator. This is the primer button right here. Comes up and it hooks into our propane at the generator. Now one of the reasons that we chose to go with this Hutch Mountain kit is this one, you know, most propane conversions will cost you, you know, like up to 10% of your power. The Hutch Mountain claims that you maybe 3 to 5, but they really say you won't see any loss in your power. Don't know, that's to be seen, but right now we're going to go ahead and give it a shot on the 20-pound tank, and then we're going to try it on the Airstream. Okay, start it up, choke off. That's on propane. We need to hold this, they say, for about a second. And make sure that's open. That's open. Okay, you can hear it go through. Now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to squirt all these connections down. I just want to see if we see any bubbles. I don't think we will. The pressure is so low. Alright, looks like everything is sealed. Let's see how many pulls it takes. 1. 2 pulls. I would expect this to be running a little bit smoother. That's with the eco off. Maybe there was some air in the system. Don't know, but that's still the eco mode on and it's running a lot smoother now. Most of the time when I'm running it, it's going to have the eco mode on, just because I'm going to be running with the AC. Now that's running a little choppier. They do recommend when you shut it down, shut off your fuel supply to actually kill it. All right, so this is our port here. Now your port may be somewhere else on your trailer. Ours happens to be right at the front. So we've already turned our tank on. That's all set. We'll come down here, turn that on, follow our hose. We're set up over here. Now we'll just go ahead and see if it'll start. Do you think I just heard a little bit come out of that button when I pushed it? So let's see. That it's running. I have all my oil upgrades and an oil. So let's go ahead and hook up some power, see what happens. I'm going to run in and turn the AC on. You wait here. Okay, so the air conditioning is running. 1750 is what this thing is pulling, what the AC is pulling. Now, that is as much as it pulled starting up the whole thing. I do have soft starts on here, and it never went. Yeah, it just hit 1800 as it started up, and then I'm surprised even the surge protector's running this time. So that's pretty cool. And it seems to be running a little bit smoother with a load on it, which is nice. Well, I'd say this is going to probably be a win situation here for us. Let me go shut the AC off and I can shut this generator back off. Alright, so we've got to run the generator on the propane a few times now. No issues whatsoever. It's really nice being able to start that up, go in, start the air conditioner, go to sleep, and when I wake up, it's still running. It's not waking me up because it ran out of fuel. So I'd highly recommend this Hutch Mountain setup that we got with the Honda. And now, as far as I know, they only make it for the Hutch Mountain only makes it for the Honda. I'm sure there's some other ones out there that maybe you can get if you have a different brand. But as far as if you have a Honda, highly recommend the Hutch Mountain. Everything worked fine. We haven't noticed any loss of power. You know, like I've said, a lot of people say you'll lose like up to 10% of your peak wattage running on propane. We have not seen that. We have not run it higher than 5,000 feet of elevation, so we haven't had to change out the jets yet. But the jets are hanging right inside the compartment, so they're right there if we ever do need to change them out. So that's about it for the propane portion. We're still going to go ahead and hook up a larger gas reservoir for the generator, because I know some people don't want to be bothered hooking up their propane. They don't want to use their propane, especially, I'll tell you right now, where we're camping, we need the propane for heat. So I don't know if I would want to use that propane for the generator at the same time, because you go through propane pretty quick. So if that was the case, if right now we're on full hookups, but if we were boondocking and it was cold, I don't know that I would want to use my propane for both the generator and my heat. Yeah, you may want to go ahead and carry an extra gas can and use gasoline for your generator and save your propane for your heat. So it's another option. We're going to explore that in a future episode, so make sure you subscribe, and we will see you down the road. Thanks for watching.